Hello and welcome to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash. Francis did the harmony that time. Hello, Trash Dragons. I am Chris, Trash Dragon of the West. This is Show and Sell, and I have a guitar named Mr. Blankenship.
Hello, Mr.
Hello,
Blankenship.
Mr.
All right, he says
you.
hello back and reminded me that I sell mostly media on Discogs and eBay.
And I'm Katie, and I'm Trash Dragon of the South, and I sell clothing and accessories mostly, but I'm always on the hunt for anything unique and anything specifically sparkly.
And I'm Joe. I'm the Trash Dragon of the East, and I like a little bit of everything and a lot of, mostly, if you have a lot of one thing, I love it. And I'm here with Francis M. Durg today, as per usual, because he was, we didn't even start recording, and he started howling because he heard action going on in here. So I had to go get him and put him in my lap.
And then Joe started a three dog howl. Joe's the third dog.
Yeah. Me, Carmen, and Francis.
And I have a dog. I will put a picture of the dog Hodor, who is here and hanging out and watching every move. Sorry, it's not a competition for cute.
I have a cat that's the size of a dog.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And so we all have dog-sized things. Although this dog is the size of a bear. It's a small bear.
I don't have a cat that big.
Yeah, no, it does. But anyway, we have things that brought us joy to get to. Yes. Unless you guys have anything you want updated. You guys have any updates?
No. I have no updates.
That brought you joy.
Start because it's not. It's impressive to me, but not to anybody else probably. But the item that brought me joy, it's a twofer. It came from my house of big and tall that I've been going to. It was the last journey to that house. I miss it. I cherish that. I will cherish the memory of this house forever. But this house of big and tall this time brought me. You know how I said I like lots of one thing? Well, it gave me lots of two things. I have this gigantic bag of scissors. And this isn't even all of them. Like it was. Keep in mind, this is not an elementary school. This is a private domicile, which two men, elderly men, lived. And there's got to be in this bag about 20 pairs of scissors. And that's after cherry picking the best 5 to 10 out and putting them in my booth.
I'm jealous.
That is kind of amazing.
It is just like. But they're all like, kind of. Oh wait! Oh, there are pinking shears in here. Huh.
I'm so jealous. This is not fair.
The pink and shear action. Snip, snip. Let's see how it does on Francis.
Wait a minute. What is the House of Big and Tall? Why did I miss this? Explain the House of Big and Tall.
It's just a place where I got a. It's just clean out. I was working. That it was like I ended up getting a bunch of flannels and long sleeved shirts from a guy that was XLT.
Yeah,
and he okay, got it.
So
all right.
You told us about the house, but you never mentioned it as that name, so I was also a little confused.
And then the other thing I got out of there was a bunch of the same thing. It's hard to do with a little Durg in your lap, but a bunch of carabiners.
Ooh,
that's cool too.
Oh, and you're gonna make those monkey paws things again, aren't you?
It's just gonna be nothing but monkey. It's gonna be a monkey fist assembly line.
Monkey paws.
Those little things he made with the ball bearings that he showed a couple episodes ago.
Oh yeah. That's a really good haul, Joe.
It's pretty good. It was all because it was gonna be thrown away if I didn't take them. So
that's the Joe Trash Dragon way.
Why do they have so many scissors?
I don't know. Why do they have so many carabiners that you can't actually?
A lot.
Not for climbing. Oh, this one. How about this one? Oh, not for climbing. How about this one? Is this for climbing? Not for climbing. Not for climbing. Not for climbing. Not for climbing.
And why are they Why are they here? Why aren't carabiners exclusively for climbing originally?
Well, originally, yeah, but then people started. I mean, this goes back to when I was back when I was in college in the 90s.
What?
There were students, you see, And this is before they were all protesting on campuses. Oh my goodness!
All up in their cell phones
Oh,
doing the TikTok dances. We used to have nice dances like the Macarena.
Before the snapping chats, the snapper chats.
The snapping chats.
But they actually, people would use carabiners. The style at the time was you would use the carabiner and you'd use a carabiner and a travel mug, and you would affix your travel mug to your backpack with a carabiner. That was very
little known fact. That is how I carry my keys. Is I put them on my belt loop with a carabiner. I lose my keys constantly. I feel like they're attached to my body. They won't get lost.
Katie,
Chris, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
So why don't you go? Okay,
I'm wearing my outfit, but I'm going to turn it around so you can see what it is. No, I'm not wearing a backwards sweatshirt.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I was just really excited about this. This might put me in insufferable tipster territory, but I don't care.
I hope so.
This is the coolest reveal.
Hard Rock Cafe. Go ahead.
Okay.
So I got really excited. I'm going to give a little secret. If you miss it, you miss it. And if you know, you know. But if you're searching for vintage clothing on the resale sites online, sometimes you can just search for screen stars, because sometimes people selling t-shirts don't know. They think Screen Stars is the brand, right? And so Screen Stars was a company that was, I think it was bought by Fruit of the Loom sometime in the 90s. So the Screen Stars label didn't happen after 92 or 94, something like that. So most Screen Stars stuff that you see on vintage shirts is going to be from the 80s and early 90s. And it's also usually those really good t-shirts, the really soft ones, and the sweatshirts are no different. So I found this by searching Screen Stars, and I came up with this guy. And then I found out that Hard Rock Cafe was, I believe it was 1992 that it came into existence. So I got the end of Screen Stars. Bruce, excuse me. I don't know if you can hear him.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
He's a real Bruce, eh?
Bruce?
Real Sheila. You got to get a Sheila. That's what he's climbing for.
I can't do that accent. I wish I could. I don't know why I can't. It turns into something weird. Anyways, I was excited about it. And so now I have it. I was going to sell it, and I don't think I am.
Yeah.
I don't think I am. I'm going to hold on to it because Reykjavik. That's pretty good.
Say that. Anyway, so it was going to be this by the friend Fiend Folio from TSR, first edition.
I'm so mad you almost called it the Friend Folio. I'm so mad.
Because you're not in here? Is that why? And my Friend Folio?
You've insulted him. He's insulted.
It's we've been friends for 20 plus years. We can make japes at each other on occasion.
Okay.
So Fiend Folio, Advanced D&D, but I put it on Instagram, which is great. First edition, great find. But I found this today at the bins, and it is I haven't even looked this up yet, but it's the Star Wars prop and costume auction from 2010, the official. So you can get a stunt Klingon belt pistol for $300 to $400.
Klingon, that's not. Oh, was it? Wait, did you say Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Okay.
Stunt Klingon. Yeah, Star Trek. Sorry if I said Star Wars. Brett Spiner Face Life Cast for $100 or $200. You can see that right there.
Is that the starting bid? Are they giving you the starting bid of the auction?
I think so, or just this is probably how much they think they're going to get.
They're wrong.
Yeah,
they're going to get more than that.
Yeah, Brett Spiner, the life mask would probably get about given them, I would say probably in the low five figure or low four figures.
There is the shuttle pod control, it's just full of stuff. It's huge. It's thick. It's wow. It's hardcover. We have a special guest coming up. The Trash Dragon of the Week is Joe Pickett from Found Footage and the Chop and Steal movie coming up soon. Trash Dragon of the Week. Rawr. All right. right, we're back. Trash
Look
Dragon
at
of
that.
the week is
Hey!
Joe Pickett, and
Hi,
from the
everybody.
Found Footage Festival from the Chop and Steal movie released last year, right?
That's right. Yep.
Go. Is it still in cinemas or is it on streaming now?
It's on streaming now. Yeah, it's on. What are they? I don't even know the channels anymore. Tubi, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, two,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's Chop and Steal. It's my buddy Nick and I. We have been doing this found footage festival thing for 20 years now, and it's a long walk to explain Chop and Steal. But long story short, we do a lot of promotions and interviews on morning news shows, and we realized it was very easy to get on these morning news shows. And so we'd write up press releases for fake people to try and get these fake people booked on these morning news shows. And we had fun doing that, and it was great. And we had our buddy Mark. We made one with him. He was a yo-yo expert who would go on these morning news shows. He had no idea how to yo-yo at all. So we got him on 7 morning news shows.
It was just
And
basically
then-
him like describing something and then untangling the yo-yo.
Yeah.
Was what I
Well,
remember.
we always had to figure out a way for him not to yo-yo, So he'd show up and his yo-yoing arm would be in a sling.
Right.
Or one time
Arthritis.
he showed up and he brought the yo-yo, but he forgot to bring the string.
Right.
So it was always stuff like that. And
he's now the emotional vampire on We Live in Shadows. Now,
that's right. Yes,
Right.
Colin. Yeah. Mark Pruksch. Yeah. So anyway, we did that. We did we must have done about 20 of these morning news shows, and then finally we got sued in federal court from one of the parent companies of one of the news stations. And then suddenly it didn't get that funny anymore. And
less funny.
yeah, exactly.
But so Found Footage Festival is what your livelihood is now, right?
That's the full-time job.
Yeah, that's a full-time job. And you started back in high school, right? Looking for VHS tapes and trying to find stuff. Like, how did you start thrifting? What was your what kind of got you in that door?
Well, I come from a garage sale family. My mom and I would go to garage sales when I was in middle school.
Right.
And I've always loved them. I would always look forward to going to them with her. And then, I'm trying to think what the next step would have been. But
was there something when you were a kid that you looked out for that made you excited, or just everything?
I think it was baseball cards. I was a baseball card kid. So, I'd go and I'd look for the baseball because everybody's always getting rid of those things.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten rid of mine, and I absolutely should. I have 4 huge boxes in my basement. And they're from the 1989 years, where everybody was collecting, and they're just totally worthless. But the 5-year-old inside of me will not get rid of them.
Do you have the famous fudge face card, perhaps?
Fudge? I know Billy Ripken. No, but that was sought after that. Yes, I do actually have it now. Now on eBay, you can get it for $15, and it looks great on a shelf. I highly recommend everybody gets that. But if you don't know it's not fudge face, it's the F word face. Billy Ripken had a baseball card, and on the bottom of the bat, somebody wrote in Sharpie F face, and it says it clear as day. You can read it clear as day. And Billy Ripken, he's a whatever. His brother's Cal Ripken. He's the good player. Billy Ripken's whatever. But Billy Ripken is more known for this F-face card now. And back in the day, it was worth hundreds of dollars. You couldn't find it. And then they scratched it out, but they didn't scratch it out very well. So then the scratch-out version became worth the F-face version. Anyway,
I love that.
yes. And I remember not finding one. Then eBay came around. I was like, I got to have one.
When did you start collecting VHS tapes?
That would have been. It probably would have been the late '90s or so, mid to late '90s. So we started. We tracked our first VHS tape back to Nick was working a job at McDonald's, and it was an awful job. And how they make you watch the training videos.
Oh yeah.
He had to watch one for custodians. And he wasn't the custodian, but he had to just watch all of them. And it was called Inside and Outside Custodial Duties. And they attempted this mythology with this being called McC. If you worked and cleaned hard enough, you would see McC. And they never really explained what McC was. But we got obsessed with it. Nick had to watch it. He brought it back. We watched it constantly. We had a running commentary. We went to college together, and we roomed together in the dorms. And we would have people over to watch this McDonald's video. and that's really, I would say, like around then was when the obsession started to grow. But at thrift stores, VHS, you didn't see it as much. Now you see it a lot. Just because everybody's getting rid of their VHS tapes and
how many tapes do you buy, would you say, in a given like month?
Well, not many now, because we started doing the show VCR Party on Tuesday nights. It's on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all the things. And we found this whole new audience. And people send us tapes now. New box, like a box just showed up today.
Oh my God.
And they know what we like. We don't really collect movies as much. We're not big in the found footage world. It's a big horror community, but we're not horror guys. And I like movies, but like, I don't know. I more like the special interest stuff, like the we call it unusually specific stuff. Like here's some stuff that we just got recently. The magic of scarf tying.
Yeah.
And then also another magic video, crappie magic. I prefer to call it crappy magic, but
yes,
two magic videos back to back.
Slabs.
Yeah. Here's another one. This is my new favorite title, and this is still in the shrink wrap too. Shark Cartilage, a promise kept.
A promise kept. What was the promise?
I don't know. It's still in the shrink. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my God!
A promise, so melodramatic, but yeah.
It feels very religious.
Yeah, here's another classic that How to Meet Women in St. Louis. That's another unusually specific.
Is it just like a dating, like one of those kind of like dating things?
Well,
videos?
yeah, it's kind of I don't even really know who it's for. It's like it's kind of a joke, but I don't think if you were actually looking to date in St. Louis, you'd pick this up and it would be helpful, because they're like, go to a grocery store. You can meet lots of interesting women at a grocery store. And it's like, why is that St. Louis specific? I don't.
Underneath the arch.
So
lots of
that's what I thought it would be, but it's not. It's like public parks is a good place. It's like, how does this?
I know, like TikTok, a big thing is for women to like walk around Home Depot clueless, like, and it's like that's how you meet a husband.
No,
that's
on TikTok. No,
I'm not in charge of TikTok, Katie. I'm just reporting.
Not what the internet told me. The internet said you were in charge of TikTok. That's ridiculous. Wander around Home Depot. I don't know.
How deep am I into TikTok? Enough that I'm upset that they're getting banned. So, Katie, do you have any questions for Mr. Joe?
How many VHSs do you have?
13,000 is the rough count, and that's no doubles. So we actually, we actually got rid of our doubles. What's that?
In your home or in an office or store?
I'm in the office, in Gowanus, Brooklyn. So we're starting to get them in order, too. It just used to be like, it was a mess, but now we have an assistant who helps us categorize everything. We have categories.
Do you have like a spreadsheet?
That was my next question.
Do you have an Excel? Not only is a spreadsheet, it's one of the Google Excel spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet, so we can share it together. Oh, yeah, we're doing all right over here. Yeah, we're doing okay.
That is pretty
cool. We know where our towel is. We had a guest on, Rex from, he does a show on WFMU called Fool's Paradise, and he has 15,000 LPs. And his is like, his bigger collection is his 45 collection, and he says he purposely does not keep it categorized. He's just like, it's a surprise every time. He's just like picking out 45s.
I get that.
And he's just,
I get that.
But it's hard
this wall over here. This wall over here is like all of our stuff that comes in that's new that we haven't categorized. So this is the most fun wall because you just never know what you're gonna find. But with Rex, like, I don't know, he can't move anymore, right? Like you can't move. Like you're gonna like die in that place and haunt it. Right?
No, he moved. Like they just moved, and he said it was like,
right?
Yeah, he moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island, where they bought like a huge house, and he's got 3 rooms full of records, and it took like 2 trucks to bring the records over. Like
I'm telling you, we moved once, but just down the hall, and it was such a pain that we're like never again. So we're locked in here. These things are heavy.
Yeah.
I think this would be really cool for people to see, though, because you said this is your job now, right? And so your collection kind of became your job, which is rare sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
No, I thank my lucky stars every day. I mean, like, so when we're on the road and we're doing shows at night, we do our shows at, a local theater or a rock club or something. But during the days, we have our days open, so we go to thrift stores, and that's where we scoop up all of our stuff. So yes, I'm living my dream right now of just
and
spending
it's
my
interesting
days
that you make a living out of thrift stores in a completely different way. Like I go to thrift stores and buy stuff to sell, and you buy it to, to show people. And it's just like such an interesting that you took it and were like, oh, I'm going to do this very specific thing that no one else is doing, which is
well, we started doing something new too because we realized that we did have a lot of doubles, and we're like, we don't want to just throw them away and just toss them in a landfill somewhere. So we started doing something called the VHS of the Month Club, where people can sign up, and each month we send them one tape from our collection. And, like other little pins, we make pins. We have a little zine that we include with it. And, my baseball card collection, I've been getting rid of that in there too.
Okay.
So $12 a month. You can sign up for the VHS of the Month Club. You can get a tape from it, and it's not, like I said, it's not the Titanic crap. It's not Jerry Maguire crap. You're going to get, you might get dentures. What to expect? That might go up on your doorstep with VHS of the Month Club. So yeah,
it sounds like when Joe used to send like birthday packages, it used to just be a grab bag of whatever Joe had.
Yes,
extras of.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's the best package to get in the mail, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
I love that.
Yeah. Do you have other products you want to kind of just collections you want to show us?
Well, yes, my favorite. So I used to always go to at thrift stores. I always used to go to like the T-shirts because I'm a big T-shirt guy. But now there's just I blame vintage stores for they go in there and they scoop them up and there's just nothing good. And it's always like fun runs and
always fun runs. Yeah,
that's all.
I buy like Shag fun runs like in Palm Springs. Shag is the kind of like local artist, the tiki artist. And those actually are worth money.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we should do a fun run T-shirt of the month club, and then then we can have a reason to pick those up. I'm always drawn to I love bootleg stuff. Like for example, I got this in the Wisconsin Dells last. You guys know what the Wisconsin Dells is? Katie, are you familiar with
I don't.
Wisconsin Dells?
What is the Wisconsin Dells?
It's like the Branson of Wisconsin, I would guess. Every it's like all water parks, and it smells like fudge downtown, and there's like saltwater taffy, and it's
they have like indoor. It's Wisconsin, so it's cold enough. So there's like indoor water slides, which is actually really fun.
Oh,
they
wow.
also had like the water skiing squirrel. They had Tommy Bartlett's Robot World, and there's a water park called Noah's Ark where the water animals play. Not to be confused with the Bible Land park
that's in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh no, there was a Bible Land in the Wisconsin Dells as well.
There is that. Yeah, but it's separate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got a smoke up Bart Simpson T-shirt.
Yeah. With swear words on it.
Yeah.
And it's but this is like I didn't think that they still made bootleg Simpson stuff, but there's a souvenir store right downtown Wisconsin Dells, and I saw that up on the wall, and I was like, I'm getting it, and I'm getting it in lime green. So,
which turns out to be your color.
It works. I texted a few friends, and they're like, I need one too. So I came back with like 12 Smoke Up Bitches T-shirts. So
you should do a Smoke Up Bitches of the Month Club. Sure.
That's the next venture. Okay, so let me tell this story. So here's another bootleg thing that's kind of related to this shirt. We were doing, it was 10 years ago, we were doing a 50-state tour. We were in doing our found footage show, and we were in Montana. We were driving across Montana, and we went by the Supermax, this huge Supermax prison. And we're driving by, then at the end of it, it said, gift shop open. I was like, well, what? A prison gift shop? Just like right off the side of the road. So we go in there. We're the only ones in there, except for the person who's working there, who we later found out is a prisoner. And this place was incredible. We were there in like November, and I did all my Christmas shopping for everybody. Everybody got prisoner stuff. And there was like some artwork that wasn't terrible. Like it was all reasonably priced too. It was like $20 for. I got my brother
prisoner art.
Yeah, it was like I got my brother. He still hangs it up. He lives in London. I saw he had it actually in his living room. A pretty decent sketch of Halle Berry. That was up on the wall, and so so that was there, and then the Christmas ornaments. But then the one room in this prisoner gift shop that was huge, and this is the main thing that they sold, was horsehair belts.
Oh,
And
wow.
I learned from the person working there that horsehair belts only make sense to make if you're in prison, because it takes so long to make it. You could never, the amount that you would pay somebody per hour to make one, nobody would pay that much for this belt. So prisoners would make a lot of horsehair belts, and so much so they filled up this room. I'm walking by and I see this horsehair belt that says Garfield on it. It says Garfield, and it has 2 Garfields on each side, but like braided in, so you can't. You need it to say Garfield, otherwise you'd never know it was Garfield. And it was $250, and I was like, nah, no way, can't do it. But I kept looking at it, and finally we left, and I was pumping gas. And while I was pumping gas, I was like, I need it. I absolutely need it. And hopped back in the car, drove back, and they were closed. So then I spent the next 2 weeks calling up the prison, trying to get to the gift shop. I had to jump through so many hoops, but there's a happy ending to the story, because here it is. The Garfield horsehair belt made by a prisoner. And it's way too small for me. Way too small. It doesn't even come close to fitting me. So it hangs up on a shelf now. So
as it should, as fine art should be displayed, not worn.
So this is my prized find here.
That's amazing.
It's not like I got a great deal on it. Maybe I did get a great deal on it, because horsehair.
No, I think you got a great deal.
Yeah,
it's a great deal. It's a great story too. Like, it's perfect. I'm very jealous. That's really cool.
Well, I wish I could tell you where this place is. It was just off the side of a desolate road by a huge prison in Montana.
Oh, I'll find it.
But do you have any other prized finds that you want to show us?
Oh, yes. So, Joe, I wanted to ask you about this, or maybe I already have. In your neck of the woods, there's I think it's more like Hudson area. I was at a thrift store with my wife, and we came across this incredible painting, and just kind of homemade, outsider arty kind of a thing. And I think they wanted $50 for it, and I was like, "Would you take $20?" And they're like, "Nope, this is an original Earl painting." Do you know about Earl Swanigan?
I know about Earl Swanigan. Yeah. His stuff. He's passed on. I have but yeah, he's like an outsider. He's kind of like a dirty Reverend Howard Finster. If you're not, it's just like I do some work with an auction house, and they have an Earl Swanigan that is. I'm gonna try to make this as G-rated as possible.
I know what you're talking about.
Have you ever seen Goatsy? It is a dog.
Very familiar.
Do not look up.
It's a dog. It's a painting of a dog reaching its front paws behind, opening up its butthole, and inside the butthole there's another dog sitting on a couch. That's going out of the auction.
So he works blue.
Pretty soon.
He definitely works blue. So, but we were at this thrift store, and I tried to talk him down for $50. He's like, "No, that's an original Earl, and it's one of the few ones where he's actually painted a human in it." He's like, he very rarely paints humans. And so this is what I got, and he always paints on like just found wood that, like this is just like wood that he found in a garbage can or something. But this is what we saw. Normally it's like chickens, it's dogs, and like whenever he does his dirty stuff, he always puts like a circumcised like human penis on the chickens or on the roosters. Kind of bad. I'm never going to get rid of this, but I did look up on eBay, see what Earls are going for, and they're definitely going up. So
really,
get your Earls.
Yeah. This is my first introduction. Okay, I'm gonna.
There's
what's going on in some of these? I don't know what's going.
One sold at auction. I think there was one like $400 or $500 at auction recently. That was it was Barack and Michelle Obama, but as swans. So it was their heads on
Earl?
swans. Yeah.
Really?
That's pretty amazing. All right, so we're moving on to other Joe. Call it.
Tales from the Flypt.
Tales from the Flypt. Tales from the Flypt. All right, we are back. Tales from the Flypt. The topic is, how open are you about your favorite thrift stores? Joe Pickett, would you like to go? Or would you like to go last?
Well, I'll go first because, like, the answer is I blab. I get excited. I want people to go. The thing is, I collect very specific stuff, like VHS tapes, and most people aren't going there to collect VHS tapes. They might buy one or two, but they're not gonna pick up the shark cartilage video if they see it. so I don't worry about blabbing it off. I mean, I just rattled off all my favorite places to you guys just a second ago. So yes, I'm totally open. I want people to find good stuff.
Other Joe, you go.
So, we should have okay. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't really care that much if people know where I get stuff, or I worked for somebody who was so secretive. She had found this place that had all these tapes. She's like, and she would not she wouldn't even intimate where like what town it was around. It was like, well, I can't tell you that. I'm not like,
oh, come on.
Come on. Like, you don't have, your house is full of garbage as it is. You have, you have like
no
a
need
store
to make this
full
personal,
of garbage.
Joe.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not making it personal. That's the bad. So but I don't really care. It's like, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff out there.
That is true.
Like, stuff and so like you missed the thing that you thought you couldn't live without. Well, guess what? There's like millions more out there of other things. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is. Yeah, we
find that's the point of our first segment is things that brought you joy this week, because we find new great things every week. It's just like you're always going to find something new and great.
There's a vintage store in my neighborhood called Union Max, and the woman who runs it, the place is incredible. She has great finds, but she has a deal with the city. I can't remember what the term is, but it's basically if somebody doesn't have a next of kin, like if it's just they died and their house is just it's nobody, they don't pass it on to anybody. She gets first dibs at putting a bid on their place.
And that's amazing.
But she was also like, it can be scary. I asked him if there's blood on the floor, and if there's blood on the floor, I'm not gonna go to it. But
that would mean that there's stuff worth there for killing.
Yes.
For.
Yes. Well, okay. So there's two cops. She told me there's two cops, retired cops, that let her in, that always have the keys to the place to show her, because they go in and they put a bid on it. And she says these two cops are just like, they come in furs. They have like museum grade jewelry, because they get first dibs before the other people do. So she's like, and they just wear like these diamonds, and they're just like always have the coolest stuff. Like, can you imagine you're a retired cop and that's your new job is to let people into this house? But you get to go first and look at all the stuff.
Get to go first.
But you look like Rick Rubin constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, she went into one recently in Soho, in Manhattan in Soho. She went to Macaulay Culkin's estate. Like, he was just getting rid of his stuff, and he just called up all these estate sale people, and he was just like, just have fun with it. So she was showing us boxes. She got the Kevin, his outfit from Home Alone. She got that in there. She also got the best thing she got out of there was a onesie. And she's like, I didn't know whose onesie this was. It turns out it's Bubbles from Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson gave Macaulay Culkin
the chimp?
Bubbles. Yes, the chimp gave Bubbles his onesie to Macaulay Culkin. Now she has it. Yeah, it's just like right over there. It's like this should be in a museum.
Yes. Katie, why don't you go? How do you feel about this? A little different, perhaps?
Yeah, it's gonna feel a little different. Only because I resell in clothing, and clothing is the hardest. Definitely, it's the most picked at thrift stores quickly, especially in cities, especially in Los Angeles. I mean, there are times when I would walk in and just see enough people to know that everything was gone at that point. Does that make sense? So if you do happen to find a sneaky spot in Los Angeles specifically, there's one place that is only referred to as Magic Thrift, and I don't talk about it. But and then there's another place that's a little bit further out that honestly, if someone was to ask me personally, I would tell them, but it's not something that I would put in a blog post if I was ever to have a blog, if that was a thing.
Do you ever go on travels? Do you ever go I'm going to spend a week vacation in Florida just to do the thrifting? So I'm going to go from point A to... Do you ever do that?
I plan around. I would someday, that's a dream. I would really like to do that, but I do plan days on either side. I try really hard. If I'm going to be going somewhere, I'll try to plan around, especially if it's a place I haven't been to before. But there would be days in Los Angeles that I would know that I'm going way far out, and you can get kind of far. And so if you're doing basically the whole route up to Las Vegas, and then you go all the way deep in the desert and all the way down to San Diego, that I would do. And I would do really long days. Now here I can get to Alabama. I can get to a bunch of different states fairly quickly, which is kind of fun. And I still have a lot to explore here, which is exciting because I feel like there is treasure here. I feel like Arkansas.
I bet. I've never explored the thrift stores, and I bet you'd find some gold there. Yeah.
And it's not because Nashville's not been great, but I'll tell you what has been great: Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's right over the border up here has been, I've found a lot of things, but Nashville, again, anytime you have a city, there's just lots of pickers. There's lots, especially for vintage clothing. And there are some great vintage clothing stores in Nashville.
Oh,
so yeah.
The sparkliest of clothing in Nashville.
That's a problem too. So all my sequin gigas, all my gigas, when I go in and I want to see that heavy, it weighs 30 pounds, that jacket with the stars on it emblazoned like I'm going on a yacht in Dynasty, those are gone. But if I go out, those might still be there.
Right.
So it's not bad.
I'm also a little bit more close to open about thrifting. I have a couple kind of places that I would talk about. I have that I don't generally. I don't go to as much, but it's kind of like the little old, like what I was describing, the little kind of like dusty old lady places that, one of them I know is just they're affiliated with a chain of retirement homes. So whenever anyone passes, this stuff comes in and you can just get, they don't care what it is. Everything, a book is $1. They'll have half off. So you'll get 50 cents. And I've gotten huge lots of manga, just that was for $2 and you sell it for 150. And it's amazing. But generally I'm kind of the same. I'm always looking for different things than other people. And sure there is crossover, but for the most part I always find something of value or of interest I like taking weird swings, and just being all right, let's see. I found a book of poetry last week that was called Monkey Bone. I can't remember, but it basically had a poem with David Arquette in there, when he was in 6th grade, and it was just this is the kind of thing I live for, but no one's going to buy it except for me. And whoever is going to buy it from me.
Are you
guys? I think we did it. This episode.
Oh man, I could talk to you guys.
We're going to have you back on, Joe. This has been.
Oh, yes. This is just the tip of the iceberg of my night. On our show on VCR Party, we call them nice things. So we have a segment called Nice Things where we show off all nice things. So I haven't even dove into my nice things. So yes, I'd love to come back on. I also have a million questions for you guys about your thrifting. Secrets and habits, and I don't know. I love talking.
It sounds like we need to do just a Twitch stream with the four of us, and be guys, let's just chat and hang and and do some yuck 'em ups. But I'm already calling it 5-star episode, A+++, 2 thumbs up.
Oh, nice,
Joe, thank you so much for being on. We're going to have you back on. You remain a fantastic human and great guy. Woo! And A+ thrifter. So,
all right.
So Joe, Trash Dragon of the East, would you like to sing something?
I'd like to sing the following. Like,
subscribe.
week.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah,
That was
thanks,
Beautiful.
everybody.
That was
We did it.
beautiful.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.
Don't you see the difference in the difference that you make from the cops that you punch in the names that you take? You got ladies and bees all giving you honey, and you rack more balls than the color of money. You know Melissa Cherry doesn't do porn. To get funky and do the popcorn, eat your bars from China, or so they say. You'll understand when it opens on Friday. Can I rap? Can I rap about the puncher of the jewels?